Hello, my name is Keith and I am the Woke Pastor. I am here to share my theology and how it informs and forms our lives. Hello, today I'm sharing with you 6 reasons to overturn the Dobbs decision. The first reason is self determination. The right Roe and Casey recognized does not stand alone. To the contrary, the court has linked it for decades to other settled freedoms involving bodily integrity, familial relationships, and procreation. Most obviously, the right to terminate a pregnancy arose straight out of the right to purchase and use contraception. In turn, those rights led more recently to rights of same sex intimacy and marriage. Either the mass of the majority's opinion is hypocrisy or additional constitutional rights are under threat. It is one or the other. The majority decision would allow states to ban abortion from conception onward because it does not think forced abortion at all implicates a woman's rights to equality and freedom. Today's court, that is, does not think there is anything of constitutional significance attached to a woman's control of her body and the path of her life. A state can force her to bring a pregnancy to term, even at the steepest personal and familial costs. The court's precedents about bodily autonomy, sexual and familial relationships, and procreation are all interwoven, all part of the fabric of our constitutional law, and because that is so, of our lives, especially women's lives, where they safeguard a right to self determination. Neither the federal government nor the states have a right to impose their edicts on the rights of a woman. Removing the rights and freedoms of non incarcerated individuals is unconstitutional. Second reason to overturn Dobbs is medication. The court's decision also sparked concern over access to medication abortion options, including the prescription of medications that have been approved for use by the United States Food and Drug Administration within the first 10 weeks of pregnancy. Secretary of Health and Human Services Xavier Becerra asserted that after the Dobbs decision, we stand unwavering in our commitment to ensure every American has access to health care and the ability to make decisions about health care, including the right to safe and legal abortion, such as medication abortion that's been approved by the FDA for over 20 years. In April 2023, in Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine versus U.S. Food and Drug Administration in the Northern District of Texas, Judge Matthew Kaczmarek ruled that the government's approval of mifepristone in 2000 was invalid, banning the use of the drug across the United States. On appeal of the ruling to the Supreme Court, the court ruled to stay the order, leaving the drug available on the market while the Fifth Circuit heard the appeal. Despite the federal stance, states opposed to abortion were considering laws to ban access to medical abortion, including out-of-state shipments in the U.S., mail, and telemedicine support. Some states seeking to block medical abortion options are also considering censoring information about this option to residents, leading to potential First Amendment legal battles. Whether such state bans are legal under the Supremacy Clause is yet to be determined. States that support abortion rights expected an influx of requests for abortion. Doctors and prescribers saw increased demand for contraception after both the leak and the ruling, including emergency and long-lasting after the latter. Some national pharmacy chains imposed limits on purchases. Other Americans have been denied refills of medical prescriptions for a form of chemotherapy taken long term for many autoimmune diseases, as it can sometimes function for the use of abortions. Every woman has a right to health care. Denying needed prescriptions removes the right to health care and treatment. The third reason to overturn Dobbs is that in terms of protecting physicians. Several states with pro-abortion stances also passed shield laws to protect doctors who prescribe medical abortion drugs by mail from out-of-state lawsuits targeting this practice. In December 2024, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton sued a New York doctor who prescribed abortion pills to a Texan woman by mail. Paxton's suit asserts the doctor's action violates Texas abortion laws, but New York is a state with shield laws. The lawsuit is anticipated to challenge the validity of shield laws concerning Dobbs. Doctors throughout the U.S. reported an increase in requests for vasectomies. A Florida doctor said requests have doubled since the ruling, with a prominent and continuous increase since June 24. Many of the men said they had previously considered a vasectomy, but the ruling had been the tipping point. Abortion laws place doctors at legal risk for prescriptions and for completing abortions. The fourth reason to overturn Dobbs is in regards to in vitro fertilization. Dobbs has been implicated in creating new legal issues for in vitro fertilization. In February 24, the Alabama Supreme Court ruled in LePage v. Center for Reproductive Medicine that frozen embryos are considered minor children for purposes of the state's 1872 wrongful death of a minor law, reaffirming a conclusion that the court had first reached in 2011. Several Alabama IVF clinics, fearing they would be held liable for accidental loss of embryos, suspended operations. The ruling created a de facto ban on IVF in Alabama until a new law granting protections to IVF procedures passed a month later. According to Politico, more cases are likely in the future, with the Catholic Church and a growing number of evangelicals believing all IVF is wrong because it separates conception from the sexual act between husband and wife. The new abortion laws place in vitro fertilization procedures at legal risk. The fifth reason to overturn Dobbs has to do with health care. Those aligned with the United States abortion rights movement oppose the decision, including President Joe Biden, who said it's a sad day for the court and for the country. The health and life of women in this nation are now at risk. Former President Barack Obama, who called it an attack on the essential freedoms of millions of Americans. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland, who warned states not to forbid women to seek abortions beyond their borders. U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services Xavier Becerra called the decision unconscionable and said that abortion is an essential part of health care. Senator Elizabeth Warren, who called for increasing number of justices on the court, and many other congressional Democrats. The new abortion laws place the health and lives of women at risk. These laws are an attack on women. And the sixth reason to overturn the Dobbs decision is because the Dobbs decision was a conservative judicial coup. Senator Susan Collins, a Republican who supports abortion rights and voted in the Senate to confirm Kavanaugh, said she felt misled by Kavanaugh, who she claimed said in a private meeting with her that he would respect precedent, assuring her that he is a don't rock the boat kind of judge. Democrat Senator Joe Manchin, who crossed party lines and voted to confirm both Kavanaugh and Gorsuch, made similar comments, saying, "I trusted Justice Gorsuch and Justice Kavanaugh when they testified under oath that they also believe Roe v. Wade was settled legal precedent, and I'm alarmed they chose to reject the stability the ruling has provided for 2 generations of Americans." Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker, Republican, expressed disappointment in the decision and signed an executive order protecting abortion rights in the state. Governors Jay Inslee, Kate Brown, and Gavin Newsom of Washington, Oregon, and California respectively announced a formation of the West Coast Offense, a joint policy to allow and protect abortion rights. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez called Dobbs and other recent decisions she deemed favorable to conservatives a judicial coup, demanding that President Joe Biden and Congress act to curtail the Supreme Court's power. The Dobbs decision is no more than a conservative political coup to obtain the support of Christian nationalists and the Catholic Church.